So after watching that, you might be a little confused as to why this video is titled Could Andor Be Cancelled? And that's totally understandable. Both critics and audiences seem to love it, with many calling it the best Star Wars has been in years. And I would even agree with that statement personally. I think Andor, while it has lacked recognizable characters and flashy lightsaber duels of some other shows, has more than made up for that with excellent writing, storytelling, music, cinematography, set design, acting, etc., etc. So, why on earth would this show ever be in danger of being cancelled? Well, because while the people who have watched it generally enjoy it, there are a whole lot of folks who have not given this show the time of day because it doesn't interest them. And to a certain extent, I understand that entirely. If we equate Anakin Skywalker to Iron Man, then you wouldn't really be interested in a Marvel spin-off about, say, this guy. Though I wouldn't really put it past them with the amount of content that Marvel vomits out on a yearly basis.
What are you doing?
I'm burying you.
I'm alive! I'm alive!
You're waking the neighbors!
No.
Shut up!
No. Andor, in all likelihood, will not be axed before Season 2. Lucasfilm has stated that they agreed to make two 12-episode seasons, even before Season 1 went into production. Viewership would have to be historically bad for them to even consider canceling the show. And it isn't, right? Right?
Wrong!
Well, it has been reported that Andor has posted the lowest viewership numbers of any of the live-action Star Wars shows by far. Yet, I'm certain Lucasfilm expected this when they greenlit the show. How could they not? How could Cassian Andor, a character who wasn't even the lead character of a single spin-off movie, ever contend in the ratings department with the likes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Din Djarin and Grogu, or even Boba Fett?
I am Boba Fett.
We know. So they can't be shocked at Andor's performance. So no, I am not personally worried about Andor being cancelled, but what I am concerned about is how Andor's performance could shape Star Wars content going forward. As I said earlier, Andor's production quality and writing is far beyond anything live-action Star Wars has given us to date. When you compare it to the show that immediately preceded it, Andor's out here doing rocket science while Obi-Wan Kenobi's sitting in the corner wearing the cone of shame and eating glue. Which is a shame, by the way, and I'll never understand why they half-assed Kenobi. I mean, if you're gonna do a Kenobi show, you definitely full-ass it. But despite how great Andor is, it is performing poorly. And despite how half-assed it was, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the best performing Disney Plus series of all time at the time of its airing. Allow me to let you in on how showbiz executives think. More money equals let's do more things like that, and less money equals let's do fewer things like that. It's always going to be that simple. Money is king. So even though Andor is amazing and I would have literally sold my soul to have gotten a Kenobi series of this quality, this may be the last time we see Star Wars like this ever again. Because the statistics told Lucasfilm that far more people watched a show where the main character tried to sneak a child out of a high-security military base by hiding her in a trench coat than the one with actual competent writing.
No, it's not fair.
Andor is doing so much more with so much less. It doesn't have Darth Vader popping up in every episode, or Ahsoka, or a random 2-episode arc with Din Djarin and Grogu. It doesn't need any of that.
You're weak! And I've outgrown you.
I love how terrifying the faceless machine of the Empire feels in Andor. It has never felt like that before. It's unique, and Andor brought that feeling to us by showing us the everyday cogs of the Empire rather than the evil space wizards at the top of it. I also enjoy how they've made the fledgling rebellion look. It has almost no stability. It feels as if one simple tremor could knock the whole thing down, which provides excellent tension within the story, even though we already know what's going to happen big picture. Which brings me to my next point. Andor predominantly deals with characters whose ultimate fates are unknown to us. Kenobi, on the other hand, often lacked tension because we knew that nothing was going to happen to Leia. We knew that Vader couldn't kill Kenobi or vice versa, and the story simply wasn't compelling enough to make us forget that we knew those things. It wasn't able to successfully pull a Better Call Saul, in other words. Great show, by the way. Definitely watch it. But why wouldn't they pump out more shows like Kenobi? It's certainly easier to stuff cameos and fan service into your show than it is to write a compelling and sensible narrative with fleshed out characters that you created. So of course that's what they'll do. And you won't hear me criticize Dave Filoni too often on the show, because if George Lucas is God, then Dave Filoni is Jesus. But I do think that this is something Filoni does too often. He tends to shove recognizable characters in any place he can, even if it isn't entirely necessary. But yes, I expect Lucasfilm to continue this approach. I mean, if I offer you 2 cookies in exchange for you running a mile, or if I offer you 3 in exchange for walking 10 feet, you're gonna take the latter. It's human nature. And I completely, again, understand it. It just sucks. This isn't to say that all Star Wars has to be exactly like Andor. I get that it isn't everyone's cup of tea. It can be a bit slow and meandering, especially when Star Wars has historically been a sci-fi, fantastical adventure series. But Star Wars absolutely has room for more shows and movies like Andor. Stories that are darker, more mature, stories that flesh out the things we may not see in the original trilogy or the prequels. That's one of the best parts about Star Wars, its versatility. It could be a western, it could be a political thriller, a war story, a fantasy story, a love story, almost anything. Except for musicals. I also think it's worth noting that Andor has exceptionally well done minor characters. Characters like Kino or Val. These characters are so fleshed out and well done for the roles that they play, and they're way better when you compare them to the minor characters in shows like Kenobi or Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett. Because a sign of a great show is when even the minor characters are recognizable and notable, and Andor has certainly nailed that. Seriously, give it up to Andy Serkis, man. For a character in Kino that we might never see again in the entire universe of Star Wars, I don't think I'll ever forget him. Andy Serkis played him perfectly, and he's one of my favorite characters in the show. I'm not, it's incredible. Excuse my candor here. Get it? Candor.
Well, love.
But writing off Andor's additions to the flavor of Star Wars would be stupid.
Oh, you bet it would.
Yes, thank you, Hogwarts.
Oh, it's Hoggle.
I sincerely hope that Lucasfilm listens to the excellent feedback from both fans and critics on this one, even if their viewership data and metrics don't reflect that. You did really well on this one, Lucasfilm. Honestly. Now don't let the style of Andor be forgotten, because that would just be a damn shame. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you want to see more of Andor's elements incorporated into Star Wars projects in the future? Or are you more of a fan of the Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau style of Star Wars? Because honestly, I think there's a place for both of it, but what do you prefer? Let me know. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you feel we deserve it. It would make our day. Also, we just started a Discord. The link is in the description below, so be sure to join that. Once we get to 500 members, we're going to be doing giveaways of merch, free giveaways of merch. It's always a good thing, right? So be sure to do that as well. Thank you for watching, folks. I'm Zach, and I'll see you in the future. I like to finish this off by thanking our channel members, so take it away, Watto.
Charlie, Aiden Arroyo, the Star Wars Obsession, T, Money Sartwell, and Colin H. Thank you for your contributions to my wallet.